everything's working alright, because I had to mess with my capture card for an hour before it started working. Okay, everything seems to be okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I was hoping to start a little earlier tonight because there's quite a bit of stuff that we have to do. We just beat Koga and got the ability to surf, which we're now going to use to surf towards Cinnabar Island. In between us and Cinnabar Island there will be Seafoam Isle, which is where Articuno is found. We'll give it a shot in terms of trying to catch it. Not hugely important whether we do or not, but we'll give it a shot. Why not? Alright, so there are a lot of trainers in the water here, all of which have water-type Pokemon, so we're actually going to put Haunter out and let him go to work. We also may put Beedrill to work, because a lot of these trainers have tentacles, which can be annoying to deal with. But either way, Haunter and Beedrill are slightly behind in experience, so we're going to prioritize them. This should be easy going for a little while, since Thunderbolt is just going to one-shot pretty much everything. Twitch has never even updated the fact that I'm online, although I can see that I am live. I don't remember where the trainers are, but it's kind of annoying because they can be on the left and right, so you kind of have to swim back and forth to find them all. Oops, it's not the move I meant to use. In fact, we're just going to run away from this. It's only level 15. Second trainer. Same story, different trainer. That Poliwell should be worth a decent amount of experience since it's evolved. There we go, that's another one. What's beyond the horizon, this trainer asks. I believe to the west is Johto. I'm not sure geographically what is in the other directions relative to Kanto. Gonna keep plowing through these. With it only having 15 PP, it does kind of limit how long we're going to be able to do this, but we'll soak it up while we can. We don't have Glide, since Charizard can't learn it, so it may be a good idea once we clear out the trainers on this route to go ahead and go back to town and heal up, just so we're properly prepared for Seafoam Isles. Once we get to Cinnabar Island, that's where we'll have to go through the Pokemon Mansion, which is where you catch the majority of the fire Pokemon in the game. Although Vulpix is outside of Celadon. Or maybe that's Growlithe, I can't remember. One or the other is. Hey, Twitch finally says I'm online. After having been online for 5 minutes. I might as well just stick with Haunter. This is a good opportunity for him to catch up to everyone else anyway. I don't think Beedrill could have one-shotted. Its defense is too high. Nice. 1,000 experience, it's a pretty big boost. These trainers are not giving very much poke. I don't know if you've been noticing, but each trainer's only given like 140, 150 poke. I mean, we were fighting trainers on the SSN, you know, 4 badges ago, and they were giving us over 1,000. I guess they were the gentlemen or whatever. I don't remember what the other title is, but the rich folk. Night Slash wouldn't be too bad against these. Because at this point, Haunter being level 40, you're going to deal 40 damage each time. It's unlikely they'll survive 2 of those. Thunderbolt's obviously a lot quicker than that, but... Let's see how Beedrill fares here. Oh yeah, I forgot we still have Hitmonchan. He's kind of behind too. I want to say come Elite 4, Hitmonchan and Beedrill are going to see the least amount of action. See, I thought that Poison was strong on Bug, but Twin Needle, being Bug, is super effective against Tentacruel, which is water and poison. Huh. Alright, let's use Nightshade here. With 2 hits. A lot of these Pokemon's attacks aren't going to actually land anyway. Water type attacks will, but everything in this game knows way more normal type attacks than anything else, so... There you go, as an example. There we go, 2100 off that trainer. Go ahead and do the good old Hypnosis Dream Eater combo. Not that we need to be healed, Dream Eater does heal, but to put it to use. Can't beat it. Plus that process uses the same number of turns as just using Nightshade twice. First hit. Out of all these trainers, that was the first time I've been hit. If we see that trainer's going to throw out Tentacool or Tentacool, we'll just throw Beedrill out since that's an easy counter and it allows Beedrill to get a little bit of experience. Another 2000 trainer. Put me to sleep. Fortunately, the water gun is pretty weak. Might do a Dream Eater after this just to be safe. Not that it really matters because we're going to heal up before too long anyway. We're almost done with the trainers on this route. That didn't last very long. Alright, this will probably heal us full. It's another reason the Dream Eater is so incredibly overpowered. Nightshade will now deal 41 damage. Peck is a flying type attack, that's why I was still able to land against Haunter. Survived with just a tiny bit of health. There we go, 42. Haunter's caught up with everyone else, so we'll start using Beedrill. Unfortunately, Hitmonchan isn't going to be any good here because the two special attacks it's learned are Fire and Ice, both of which are going to be not very effective here. That's going to be super effective. I'll be okay though, we'll just leave Beedrill out, I'll be fine. In the case that my health gets too much lower, I can always use Mega Drain. It doesn't heal that much, but it heals enough to be useful. There we go. Getting caught up already. Beedrill really needs some more speed, though. It's going to be a problem later on if Kadabras and Alakazams continue to outspeed him. Wait a second, let me just make sure I'm not missing another trainer. I think there's still a few more over here to the west, and then we'll hit the Seafoam Isles. Once we know all the trainers are cleared in the water here, we'll return and heal up. Again, since I don't have any Pokemon that can fly, because I miscalculated my team and assuming that Charizard could fly, which wasn't a change that occurred until Yellow, and since we're playing Blue, that's not the case. We're going to have to heal up just to be safe before we continue into the Seafoam Isles. And getting maybe 2 or 3 squares before I'm getting attacked again. There goes trainer. Take out the first one with Haunter, and then after this I think I'll just put Beedrill at the front of the party. Just because Haunter's out of PP with almost all of his attacks at this point. I'm not really sure when Hitmonchan is going to have like an easy time getting caught up to everyone else, but we'll just have to work in spaces. He does have a fire type attack. The problem is his fire punch and ice punch are going to be special attacks as opposed to physical, so they're actually going to deal relatively low damage. Because he doesn't have a very high special stat. Reduce my accuracy. Always an annoyance in this game. If you don't have 100% accuracy, you have like 4% accuracy. Of course, that's an over-exaggeration. That's definitely what it feels like sometimes. Go ahead and heal full up with this, I think. No, not full. Anyway, I'm gonna hit Twin Needle next. Another Mega Drain wouldn't actually kill it. Of course, I missed once. It's now outspeeding me. Torpedoed. Man, the male swimmers on this route are not given much of a reward. It's like less than 200 Poke per victory. Twin Needle is not going to do very much to this Shelter because its defense stat is so high and it's a physical attack. So we'll use Mega Drain. It's super effective and it should be enough to finish it off because its special is relatively low. There we go. Cloyster's going to kind of just be a more extreme version of the Shelter. I'm just going to keep hitting it with Twin Needle though, because it has a chance to poison. Toxic does poison and has 90% accuracy. That's going to be super effective. No? Should have been. I'm flying type and that was ice. Oh, great. I think Clamp is probably the most powerful of these types of attacks. I'll go ahead and heal up. Of course. I could have just gotten the attack in and not had to waste the item, but I'm pretty sure there's still a few trainers, so it wasn't really too bad of an idea anyway. Yeah, 155. Cheapos. Gonna have to swim back and forth, up and down, just to make sure we're not missing anyone. There's another trainer. Yeah, the beauty trainers tend to give a lot more money than the swimmers. Mega Drain on the next Pokemon just to get healed up. Nice. Nice critical hit there. It is pretty nice having a Pokemon that can heal itself. I guess Haunter kind of has that same benefit. We just keep using this until we're healed full. It's dealing decent damage anyway. After the speed drop, it's moving faster. I don't know why Beedrill is so slow. He's supposed to be a relatively fast Pokemon. Yeah, 2100 there. Alright, so we're pretty much at the Seafoam Isles. We'll swim south, see if there's any trainers there. And if not, we're going to head back to Fuchsia real quick to heal up. And then we'll come back. All we have to do is, on the way, we're just gonna have to skip all the wild encounters. Battled this one, right? Yeah. That was the guy that told us we need to learn how to swim. Fortunately, now that we're on land, we can use a bike, so it's nice. Back to work on the Seafoam Isles. There are quite a few floors in Seafoam Isles, if I remember correctly. And on the very bottom one, you can take sort of an optional path to encounter Articuno, which we can do. We'll try to catch it. Once we beat this game, we're gonna take our main team and put them into Pokemon Stadium on the N64. Not a terrible idea to catch some backup Pokemon. Such as some legendaries. Need to catch a flying type Pokemon just so we have something that knows fly. It's really going to speed up movement. Let me have to go back and pick up a few items before we get to the Elite Four. That was weird, wasn't it? Why was I attacked by a Spearow on the water? Like, I know I'm like right on along the like coast, but there's no grass or anything there. I don't know if this is a bug or what. This doesn't seem right. Whatever, we're gonna catch it, because as I was just saying, we need a flying type Pokemon. I'm pretty sure Spearow can fly, or Fearow, I don't know. I know Pidgeot can. Farfetch'd cannot. Alright, well, I don't know what was up with encountering a Spearow right there in that block, but we'll keep moving. I think there's a, this person you can battle. It's an optional battle. I'll take it. Evolved Pokemon are always nice. Of course, it probably knows Peck. That's fine, we'll use Mega Drain. He's poisoned it too. I think we defeated it before it could ever even hit. Got him. There's nothing up here. Alright. Heading into the Seafoam Islands. There are some cool Pokemon you can catch here. I think quite a few of them you can fish up. But I think this is the easiest place to get Seal in the game. So if you wanted a Dugong for one of your final teams. I think it learns Ice Beam or Aurora Beam or something kind of useful. We do have Strength at this point. Can't remember exactly who has it. There's Psyduck. A level 30 Psyduck should be worth a decent amount of experience. Golduck would be worth more. I guess we could catch it. I'll throw one ball at it. Nope. Alright. See you, Psyduck. You're out of here. Alright. Let's go ahead and get Strength activated here. In Seafoam Islands, there's a lot of rocks like that you have to push onto those black squares because that makes them fall to the floor below. And once you do so, when you go down the steps, you'll find that that rock will actually be on the ground beneath, on the floor beneath where you currently are, which allows you to access certain parts of the dungeon. The goal is to get a bunch of rocks to the bottom floor of this dungeon because there's like a heavy current that's keeping you from being able to leave. And the rocks will block the current, and that's what allows you to swim to the exit. It's also what allows you to swim to Articuno. You can fall down the squares to go down underneath. I'm going to go down the ladders because I don't remember exactly which one takes you to the areas that you need to go to make your way through the dungeon. And if there's any items, we might as well pick them up. Our inventory is relatively empty right now. A lot of water-type Pokemon in here. We're just going to do some exploring here for a sec. There goes a Shelder. So Shelder, Psyduck, Krabby. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Seal spawns in here, so lots of water types. And some ice types, for that matter. Alright, so we need to push the rock down one floor up above, and then we head down there to push it down again. There are hidden items throughout this dungeon on certain squares, but I don't know where they are, and I don't remember any of them being particularly useful. Really, one of the most important hidden items in this game are the 2 Moonstones. We've already gotten one, the other one's in the Pokemon Mansion, which we'll get to once we get to Cinnabar Island. There goes a hidden item. Typically, rock formations that look like that have an item in them, especially if it's like a standalone rock. Once you get to Victory Road, that's not so much the case because they're all over the place, but... So our main goal right now, we're going to just try to explore as much as we can, pick up some items, and just get the rocks down to the deeper floors of the dungeon. So you can't just like hit A on water and activate Surf, or hit A on a boulder and activate Strength. You have to actually go to your Pokemon and use the ability. I'm glad that in the future generations they made them a bit more easier to use. A bit more easy to use. A bit more easier sounds a bit redundant. I don't know why. Alright, we need to go back up, I believe. Well, let's do this side. I'm pretty sure this dungeon is like split into two halves, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go down the flight of the ladder that's up north of here. And see if we can push the rock down. Oh man. At least we're 5 levels higher, so we don't really have much issue getting away from these Pokemon. Not that it would be a huge issue, because Beedrill with Mega Drain and Haunter with Thunderbolt would make pretty quick work of them, but it's just kind of a waste to use TMs for that when there's going to be a bunch of trainers after the dungeon before we get to Cinnabar. Plus Articuno. Repel would be nice right now. Does Generation 1 even have repels? I feel like it does, but I was never one to use them. Okay, here we go, yeah. So we're gonna push that down. Level 32, we can take it out for the experience. Hit it with a Mega Drain to finish it off, just to heal some of the damage. There. So that one's down another level. Remember on the first floor there were 2 rocks that we pushed down. There's a Seal. I think of all the Pokemon you can find in here, Seal is the rarest. I'm not really gonna... If it gets to low health and doesn't die, we can catch it. Okay. I don't really want to waste any Pokeballs, so we're gonna play this safe. Another concern is filling the box up and then trying to catch Articuno and the box being full. Because you have to manually switch boxes in this game before you can continue to catch Pokemon. If your box is full, it just doesn't even let you throw Pokeballs. Again, not that it's hugely important that we catch Articuno, and we've only caught like, there's probably 8 Pokemon in our box right now because we've been pretty minimalist. But we don't want to create any unnecessary issues for ourselves. So I'm gonna head over to the... there's a Slowpoke, that's a nice catch too. We're going to go over to the other rock now, because on the first floor there were 2 boulders, and there's another ladder over in the northeastern side of this dungeon on this floor. Had to use confusion. Oh, okay, at least it didn't hit very hard. Oh, come on. 3 of them are adding up. Okay. We're not going to catch anything else in here other than Articuno, but I just wanted to catch those in case we want to use them in another run or something and don't feel like catching them up. I feel like that's kind of cheating. You probably wouldn't do that, but just so we have them. Alright, heading down here, and there's the other block. I think a seal's tongue is just sticking out there. Alright, we'll just follow this rock down. We're just going to jump through the little hole there. Alright. Then we can just continue to push it. Both of the rocks should be on the same floor now. Yes, this is the exit. This is where the current normally would be. But the reason we push the rocks down is to slow down the current. And that way we can escape. I'm pretty sure at this point we've already got the rocks in place. We could swim. Let me think. Is that... we're good here then? I think we're good here. Yeah, let's see if we can swim. Yep. Alright. That was the Seafoam Isles. We can go catch Articuno. Is there a hidden item here? No? Okay. Yeah, I think there's a hidden item here. There we go, an Ultra Ball. It'd be nice to use against Articuno. I think that's all we can access from this particular... oh, there we go, over to the west. That's it. Okay. And I'm going to check over here, because we didn't actually explore this part of the floor above us. Gonna take a look around, make sure there aren't any more useful items. In fact, let me pull up our team list here, that way we know we're not skipping any TMs that we're gonna end up needing. Just a sec. I don't think we are, because I don't think there's anything in Seafoam that we need. There will be one in the mansion that we're going to be using. We're not quite there yet, so let's continue to look around here. Another seal. The seals and slowpokes are rare, but in this case it looks like we're finding seal more often than slowpoke. Aha, another hidden item. Alright, so there's a little bit of a puzzle here. We're not done with the rocks. I was mistaken earlier when I said we were. That was just one area where you can swim around. Alright, I think it's... yeah, this one definitely goes up. Naturally. So many seals. Dugong isn't a terrible choice as you go into the later parts of the game. Let me see if I've messed this up. Goes left. No, okay, I haven't messed this up. Have to be careful here. Alright. There's a block up above us, so we're going to push that to the left. Come on. That's a Kingler. First encounter for a Kingler. I guess we should defeat this, if it doesn't cause too much issue. It's going to be worth quite a bit of experience. Oh man, that's a critical hit. It's got high defense. I would have started spamming Mega Drain. Oof, man. He's hitting hard, but this kill will be worth it. Guillotine is an instant kill like Fissure, but it's got an incredibly low accuracy, so... Nice, level 40, okay. Beedrill's getting caught up. Alright, so there's one block in. Now we can get the other one in, because you have to push that there, but if this block was where it originally was, you wouldn't be able to go right there, so... There we go, we got both of the blocks out of the way. Krabby looks so dinky after having just seen that Kingler. It's massive. Is there a hidden item here? No, okay. I should just get on my bike, but we're just going to be attacked just as much. There's a dugong, that's pretty rare. Probably gonna defeat this too. Oh man, it's got a high special stat. Yeah, we'll put Haunter on this job. The Aurora Beam, it's an ice attack. It does okay damage. Haunter should be able to survive through it though. Ice Beam is going to be much stronger than Aurora Beam. There we go. Just for the experience. Where does this go? Okay, this is... We've been here before. Alright, so we'll go back down. Just making sure we're not obviously missing any items. Alright, so there you can see the current is stopped because the two blocks are in the water, and we just pushed two different rocks to the level below us where it stopped another current, so... Wait a sec, let me just look around a little bit here. Ah, okay. That way you can travel between the floors. Or, well, I guess rooms are not floors. We're almost out of Seafoam Isles. Give me a second. I'm going the wrong way here. I can tell because we've been in this room. We'll use our other max potion. Do you have anything else? No, just the max potion. Okay. I'm gonna use our other max potion on Beedrill right here. I haven't really been preparing with potions too well, but we haven't needed them too badly, so we're okay. Worst comes to worst, I'll just buy some hyper potions. Gonna go back to the western side of this floor and head up. I think there's another path that we have to take that I'm blanking on right now. I don't really remember the layout of this dungeon too well. Man, a lot of... almost every water Pokemon in the game, aside from like Magikarp and Squirtle, you can catch in here. Vaporeon. Alright, we definitely have not been here. Alright. As you can see how that's blocked right there, that's why the current isn't here anymore and we're allowed to swim. There's Articuno right there. He just looks like a bird. They all do actually, Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres. When you just see them in the world, they just look like birds. And then when you encounter them, they look a bit more impressive. Alright, so we'll save it here. We'll try to catch the Articuno. We'll see how it goes. There it is. So strange, because I feel like it was pretty well established what, you know, the legendary birds look like, but the art in this game does not really reflect the Pokemon that everyone visualizes. Okay, Haunter's dead. That's problematic, because Haunter is going to be used to put it to sleep. Okay, we have quite a bit of damage to do before we really need to worry about that. There we go, we have Sim on Clefable too. Got really high stats, so don't need to be too afraid of killing it. I mean, more afraid of getting wiped out. Since it is level 50, it's higher level than any of my other Pokemon, or any of my Pokemon. That's it. Nidoking's definitely gonna be a one-hit kill here. Ice Beam can absolutely destroy Nidoking. Oops. Let's see, do we reset? I'll reset. You don't get another chance to catch the legendary birds if you kill them, so we'll reset and try again. Not sure it's worth it. We probably just could continue and forget about it, but we've got the Ultra Ball and we've got the Pokemon that can do it, so might as well give it a shot. Alright, we're not gonna start off with Beedrill, because that's just not gonna work. We'll just start with trying to put it to sleep. Even with Clefable having a high special stat, Ice Beam just does a lot of damage. Oh, and now it's frozen. Frozen status cannot be cured in Generation 1 unless you're hit with a Fire-type attack. In other words, you can't escape it. Because if a Pokemon's using Ice Beam on you, chances are it probably doesn't know a Fire-type attack. Unless you're using like Nidoking, who can indeed learn Flamethrower and Ice Beam. Okay, this should kill Nidoking. Yeah. Alright, so we have Haunter that we can try to, like, if you don't put these Pokemon to sleep, you're probably not going to catch it. And if it hits me with anything, it's dead. So, we don't have any means to put it to sleep anymore. I can throw out some Pokemon that are just gonna get killed, I guess. Try to freeze it. I don't know if it actually can be frozen since it's Ice-type. Okay, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Okay, well, I'll throw an Ultra Ball at it. It's probably gonna miss the Pokemon. Catching legendaries in this is not fun. I'll throw a few more Pokeballs, then we're just gonna have to reset again. we're gonna go ahead and reset. Alright, well, let's, yeah, let's just try it again. I mean, I don't really know what else there is to do. We just have to not miss with the sleeps. Nidoking is going to do the majority of the damage with Rock Slide, and then it's going to be destroyed by Ice Beam. There's nothing that's going to change that. Being frozen solid is a definite disadvantage. Yeah, not hitting with Sing, so this is just a repeat of last time. If things go different. Really, this is going to come down to whether Hypnosis with Haunter hits. Even though its health could be a little lower. It's not Psyduck, it's Articuno. Probably enough to kill Hitmonchan. No? Okay. Come on, freeze it solid! No, okay. Got a hit in. Alright, we have to rely on Hypnosis hitting. If Hypnosis doesn't hit, then we might as well reset again. I wish I could Dream Eat this damn thing. Oh, okay, glad that lasted long. Now that it's asleep, I can actually start hitting with balls, which is nice. There we go, we got Articuno. Yeah, that's what I was saying. By the time these games came out, everyone had a clear image of the legendary Pokemon and like Pikachu and Jigglypuff, and then you play the game and they really don't look like what you expect. Anyway, there you go. We caught Articuno. Half our Pokemon are dead, but we're pretty much done with the Seafoam Isles. At this point, we just need to make it to Cinnabar. And with what we have left, that shouldn't be an issue. Worst case scenario, I believe I have a Revive in my party. Or in my inventory. Oh, I thought that was... okay. The exit is very close. Yeah. There have been plenty of Psyducks in this cave. Psyducks, Krabbies, Staryu, Seals. Even found a Slowpoke, a Dugong. Alright, let's get out of here. Boom. Alright. Those were the Seafoam Isles. Gonna go ahead and save it. Remember, we do not have Fly, so we have to make it to Cinnabar without going back. This is a good matchup for having Beedrill out anyway. The only one that's noticeably behind now is Hitmonchan. Speaking of Articuno, the legendary birds come out on Pokemon Go on Saturday. You have to get them through raids. So Star U is not Psychic type, unlike Star Me. The swimmers don't give any money. The female swimmers are considered beauties and they give a lot more. We got a bird trainer here, a bird keeper. What's this guy doing here? Alright, so this isn't a great matchup. I'm gonna have to put Haunter out, although Haunter's pretty low in health right now. Alright, nice. As long as it does a normal type attack, there's not much to worry about. Alright, so I'm gonna solo this trainer. Just a sec. I was just updating some security thing on my phone. Two critical hits, not enough to finish it off though. Aurora Beam has a chance to reduce attack? That's odd. Oops, it's not the move I meant to use, that's okay. Oh, great. I'm not dealing with that. we'll try to heal up Haunter here. Oh, great. No, I can't even switch him out anyway. I guess Clamp must be considered water. Maybe ice. It obviously isn't normal, or it wouldn't have even affected Haunter. Doesn't matter, Haunter's dead now. Gotta love busted moves. Cloister is definitely annoying. Nice. See, Toxic badly poisons, so it does progressively more damage each turn, making it better than like your standard, you know, Twin Needle or Poison Sting poison. Alright. Running pretty low on Pokemon, PP, everything right now. I think we'll still be okay though. Haven't used Charizard at all here, just because it is fire type. It really isn't a great Pokemon to use against these trainers, although it's high enough level to where it's just going to outspeed most of the things it's against anyway, but each hit was critical and it hit for the maximum number of turns. We'll just play this safe and stick to dig. Try to avoid getting hit with anything. Nice, avoided both supersonics, that was nice. Just wanna make it there already, but we're close. You can get the amber, the old amber for Aerodactyl up in Pewter City, which is where Brock is. But I just haven't gone up there to get it. You can actually access that once you have cut. There's a building on the northern side of town, and you have to go in like the back door. And then you can get the old amber from somebody in there. And then on Cinnabar Island is where you reanimate the fossils. I think we got the Kabuto fossil, but we don't really have any need for reanimating it. I mean, we could, just doesn't really make any difference. We're not going to use it. Great. That's the problem with using dig, is that it has to go through two confusion checkpoints there. There's Cinnabar, we made it. Alright, let's heal up. What? I didn't press that. How was that guy on the roof? Give me a sec. Do we have to go in here? I don't think we do. This is the lab. Odd trade. Why would I want to trade my Raichu for an Electrode when Raichu required a Thunderstone? Yeah, there's a Metronome TM, so I could teach it to Clefable again. Clefable learns it on her own, but Metronome just takes the form of any attack. Yep, I have my fossil in the bank, or box anyway, so... Speaking of which, I should hit the Pokemart, pick up some useful items, and then drop off the items I don't need in the box. Pick up some Ultra Balls. Some Hyper Potions. Guess we could start using Repels. Alright, let's go dump off the stuff we don't need. Probably put all three of these in here. We probably won't need those. I haven't sold my nuggets yet, but just a quick way to make a few thousand Poké. And the rest of that was just stuff we just bought, so... Blaine is the only trainer that looks different in the video game than he does in the TV show. Alright, so up next is the Pokemon Mansion, or the Cinnabar Mansion. There are some hidden items in here. This is where you catch Ponyta, I believe Magmar. There you go. That's the 4th Moonstone in the game. There was one hidden in Mount Moon, one available in Mount Moon, one somewhere else, and now I can't remember. And then that one right there that was hidden in the wall. So you can get 4 Moonstones, and that would give you enough to evolve every Pokemon in the game that would require one. We can try to let Hitmonchan get some experience here. Beedrill is a bad choice here. Get yourself a Grimer. I think Coughing appears in here too. I don't remember my way around, so I'm kind of walking blind. Hey Oatmeal, welcome back. We have headed south from Fuchsia, cleared out Seafoam Isles, took the time to catch Articuno, Now we're on Cinnabar Island, and we're in the Pokemon Mansion. Like I said, this is where you catch a lot of the Fire-type Pokemon in the game. I believe Growlithe is available outside of Celadon, but Ponyta, Vulpix, Magmar, random bed right there. I think you hit this. Yep, okay. So there are a few switches hidden throughout this place, and when you press them it opens up different doors. Some more random beds. I guess this is supposed to be a mansion, so I guess those are the guest rooms? I don't know. A lot of rubble in here. Yeah, the music is a little different. I feel like we might have heard it in the Team Rocket headquarters? Now I can't remember. But yeah, it is a bit interesting. You don't hear it, too often. Which one? Grime? Which one don't you get in blue? There are some that are game specific. I don't have the list out in front of me. But, yeah, even as far back as, like, Celadon City, where Misty is, there are Pokemon that are exclusive to Red and exclusive to Blue. I'm curious in here if it's Grimer in one edition and Coughing in the other. So many encounters here. Guess we did just buy some, we just bought some Max Repels. Let's go ahead and use them. First repel of the game, just to make this go a little smoother. The thing is about the switches, you don't want to just press all of them, because they, some of them will open and close doors that others will have the opposite effect on. So, you just have to be mindful of which switches you've hit. I don't think this is very effective. Oh, okay. I thought ice wasn't very effective against fire. Oh, okay. No, I mean, you could definitely be right. I'm actually, I'm not sure. It could be Vulpix in one version and Growlithe in the other. Or something similar to that. But yeah, you could totally be right. Both of them evolve with Firestone. Nice, froze him solid. He can't get out because I'm just not going to hit him with a fire type attack. Comet Punch and its never-ending ability to miss. Nice. There we go, Hitmonchan getting some experience here. I like the artwork for the burglar. It kind of looks like a little kid with, like, I don't know, a bag or like a cape or something on his back, like a Boy Scout or something. It's supposed to be like a balcony. It's kind of hard to tell because it's just blue, but... Maybe there's an item here? No. I think there are a few other hidden items here. We're still operating on a repel, so we're not going to get attacked by anything. I think this is the log that mentions Mew. You notice that said South America? Yeah, Generation 1 Freeze is just busted. Yeah, if you read all these books that are hidden around the mansion, it mentions that Mew exists, but it's more just like the the little sound bites you hear at the beginning of the first movie, kind of. No, I guess not really. Mewtwo is just kind of talking about hearing stuff, but anyway, like how you see Mew in like the forest or the jungle and stuff like that. That's kind of what it's alluding to. But if you notice, when I press that button, that door up there closed. So I'd have to go back and press the previous button in order to be able to go into that room from that door. It's kind of annoying how that works. Now, Magnemite is not Steel type yet, so this is not going to be super effective. Oh, hiccup. Yeah, 2 criticals in a row, I'll take it. Thundershock's pretty weak. Okay, maybe not. Thundershock is relatively weak when you compare it to Thunderbolt and Thunder. And what happened with that Fire Punch? I was doing decent damage, then when it was in killing range, you decided just to not do any damage. Alright, well, Hitmonchan is dead. Second is to use a revive on him. I need him to get some experience, so I'm going to bring him back up. Why is he hitting me with electric type attacks? I'm ground. Actually gonna switch to Haunter. I'm just waiting for self-destruct, and if he does that, then Haunter's not going to take any damage. Nice, getting some decent money off of these guys. Ah, dead end. Okay, repel this war off. My first playthrough of Red? Oh man, it was so bad. I had Charizard, Pidgeot. I want to say Raticate. Like, it was pretty much the first 6 Pokemon that I encountered in the game. It was pretty bad, and now I can't even remember who they are. I remember it was Charizard, Raticate, and Pidgeot. And other than that, I honestly can't tell you, because they were probably so low level, they wouldn't have been able to do anything by the end of the game anyway. I think I played the Elite Four like 25 times before I beat them the first time I played it. It was rough. My brother had Blue and he picked Blastoise. He had a much easier time getting through it. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, you know? It's been a while, I'm sure. Especially if you were playing it around the time it came out. It's tough to remember your team all the way back then. Oh, whoops. Okay. I didn't realize that was a thing. Alright, let's fight this guy. It's been 20 years, actually, thinking back. Red and Blue came out like 20 years ago, I believe. We're gonna do the same thing with Haunter. I think this is just the safest thing to do in case these guys, do self-destruct. Yeah, I mean, that was a while ago. I gotcha. I'll be 26 later this year, so we're the same age pretty much. About to use wheezing. Hey, 90s gamer. Speaking of the 90s, we were just talking about our first playthroughs of Red. Let's see. A wheezing. Clefable hasn't gotten any action recently. I'll throw her out here and finish this guy off in one hit. We are in the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island right now. Once we clear this out, we'll go and fight Blaine. Get our 7th badge. I've been doing each of the sort of stages of this game on stream, so it's been pretty fun. I know there's an exit here. Let me see. Man, what? It just took me back to the exit. It took me back to the front of the building. That's not where I wanted to go. Okay. Well. Yep. Using Beedrill. That's supposed to be my psychic counter, although when he gets up against Kadabra and Alakazam, you can't really outspeed them, so that can be an issue. Head back the way we just were. I didn't mean to leave the building early. I think I have to go down another flight of steps and interact with something. You get the key or unlock the door to the 7th gym. I can't really remember Cinnabar Island too well right now. Alright, you can disable serve. Yeah, I definitely agree with Oatmeal. It's a nice name. 90s gamers. 90s when some of the best games I think of all time came out. For example, Pokemon. Alright, yeah, let's go down here. Pick up this island before, or this item before. Okay, here we go. So there's another log about Mewtwo and Mew. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. Sometimes when I'm like doing work or something like that, I'll turn on you know, Pokemon Red or Blue music, or even like Donkey Kong Country. I was hoping that would just one-shot it. I actually just did a complete run-through of Donkey Kong Country last week. It took me about 2.5 hours. I was hoping it was going to be a little shorter than that, but of course I think back on it as a kid, I'm like, it definitely took me a lot longer than that the first time. Now we're going to hit the switch. I don't think that's going to lock us out of any rooms. Opened up the room over here in the northeast. Yeah, there we go. There's a scientist in there too. Battle him. Yeah, I haven't learned the specifics of speed running anything, so definitely not speed running this. That wasn't a very good choice. Great. Alright, well we're just going to leave Hitmonchan dead this time. Yeah, actually my plans after I beat Blue here in this casual run is to put them into Pokemon Stadium on the N64 and battle the gym leaders in the Elite Four on there too, using the same team. I think that'll be pretty fun. We're gonna do all that on stream as well. Alright, yeah, so we're leaving Hitmonchan dead. Kinda sucks. I'd like for him to be able to get some more experience. Oh, there's a Magmar. That's kinda rare. Nice. Those are pretty good choices. Yeah, my brother and I, we played this right when it first came out, and I remember we first started the game, and you know how you have to walk out of Pallet Town to the north? We were like playing the game for like 10-20 minutes, like, what is this? I don't understand what we're supposed to do. Just like walking around Pallet Town. Yeah, I figured it'd be sort of like a, you know, get to use the Pokemon for a second use, you know, because once you beat the game, or once I beat this game, I was just planning on wiping it and probably running it again with a completely different team, but in this case, you know, you get to kind of use them again. Yeah, I do. Man, I played a lot of Pokemon Stadium growing up. Still play it now. There we go. Had to catch Magmar. It's like if we found an Electabuzz if we went to the power plant. You have to catch him. The problem is, Magmar is really cool. I like him. He doesn't have a very good moveset. There's like almost no way to make a Magmar usable. I'm sure you could find a way, and he would have like a pretty good normal attack and a pretty good fire attack. But other than that, he doesn't have too many options. Oh yeah, yeah, that was tough. Cause, oh wait, that's so weird. I had a repel on, but that Magmar still managed to make it through there. Yeah, it's like there were a lot of little things where you had to pay attention to the text, you know. And when you're in elementary school, middle school, you're not reading the text. I don't want to buy a fresh water and bring it to that guy. You gotta buy it on the roof of the mart. Oh yeah. There's so many little things like that where it's like, what am I doing wrong? Alright, is this the key? There we go. Okay, we got the key. So we're ready to leave Pokemon Mansion, and then we can head right on to Blaine. It's a pretty easy run-through of the mansion. We'll heal up before we go in, since Hitmonchan is currently incapacitated. That Muck's got a lot of health. Yep, I gotta press the switch up here again. Oh man, that was the worst. When you'd be playing your Game Boy and you're like, oh, I'm so close to wherever I need to go. I gotta save it real quick. Like in constant fear that that the Game Boy is gonna like do like boom, and then like it runs out of battery and the screen just fades out. I hated being in constant fear of just like losing my data because I wasn't saving enough. Right now, I'm actually, the way I'm streaming this game is, I have the Game Boy player on a GameCube, so fortunately no, no risk of, the Game Boy dying or anything. Oh man, that was painful. Or like you're playing it after school, you know, you haven't quite made it home yet and your battery dies and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Socialize with people? Please. Alright, so we have the secret key. We can get into the gym now. Yeah, it does. Originally, I only thought it played Game Boy Advance games. It plays original Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. So, it's been working pretty well. Alright, so this is the fire gym. We're going to intentionally get all of the quiz questions wrong, because we want to battle these trainers. If you get them right, they just open the door and you don't battle them. Actually, I think if you just talk to them and not the machine, you can just battle them anyway and the door will open. Yeah, like I said, that was a recent discovery for me too. I'm glad that back in my hometown they used to have a retro game store. I'm glad I picked it up a few years ago. Because, I mean, I'm sure you can still get your hands on one on eBay and stuff, but it's obviously a bit harder to find now, but I'm glad I picked it up when I saw it. Nice. So, Hitmonchan will learn his last useful move when he hits level 43, so we're not too far off. The fact that the Growlithe just lowered Hitmonchan's defense isn't too bad, because a lot of their attacks are going to be fire-based, which are considered special, so... How many Ice Punches do I have to use before I manage to freeze something with this guy? Alright, I don't really feel like dealing with... That was confusion, right? That's alright. We'll just switch out to Clefable and finish this guy off. Flamethrower. Be nice when Charizard learns that. Alright, Oatmeal, well thanks for tuning in. I'll be back, I don't know about tomorrow, but sometime during the weekend I'll be back, and then we'll go ahead and do Giovanni and Victory Road. But thanks for tuning in, it's always fun. Oh man, that's rough. I didn't realize that they'd sell them sort of like separate pieces. I figured if you were going to be selling the, you know, the actual plug-in on the bottom, you would just assume it came with the disc. That's rough. I can understand how, at some point, like, the owner of a Game Boy player might have lost the disc or something. I don't know, I feel like I'm always pretty careful about keeping things like that together. Yeah, but we will see you later, Oatmeal. Wow. Man, that's really high. Oh. I honestly can't remember how much I got this one for. I know it wasn't that, though, I can tell you that. But man, that's rough. If you could find one for a decent price, though, I'd definitely say it's worth the investment. It's nice being able to get your, you know, tiny Game Boy games up on, like, the TV screen. I'm gonna try to solo as much of this stuff as possible with Hitmonchan to get him caught up. Everyone else is in the sort of 42 range, and he's still sitting at 39, so... Gonna have to do a little bit of grinding when we get to the Elite Four. I think. Not too much, I still want to leave it challenging. And I have quite a few rare candies I'll use as well. Come on, freezing. Yay! One-way fight! I can hit Comet Punch, which is so weak and has such low accuracy. Okay, one more? No. Alright, did some work there. Oh, back-to-back critical hits. I wonder, does Comet Punch have an elevated chance to get criticals? I think I'm going to end up replacing it, but either way, I guess it's not a terrible move to have as sort of a placeholder before I get my final 4 TMs. Well, but the final TM, I'm going to be teaching it submission. I'm gonna switch over to Comet Punch. I don't know. This move, that's kind of doing some work now. It used to not really do too much damage, but it's hitting pretty hard. Of course, it is just a normal type attack, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You definitely want Hitmonchan to learn a fighting type move, which is why we're gonna teach it submission, which has recoil, but it's worth it. It's gonna help take down some of the tankier Pokemon in the Elite Four. Of course, that just makes recoil all the much worse, because the amount of recoil you take is based on the amount of damage you deal. Hey, welcome and thank you. 90s Gamer. I appreciate your follow. I hope you continue to tune in, because I will continue this entire run on stream, and then, like I said, we're going to do the Pokemon Stadium thing, so that should be a lot of fun. Alright, there we go. We're starting to get caught up. Level 40. Unfortunately, these Pokemon have a lot of unevolved forms, like Vulpix and Ponyta, so they don't really pose much of a threat in terms of hitting hard. Unfortunately, that does mean that their attacks or that they are worth less experience. Fire Spin is really annoying. It's one of those attacks that traps you and you can't actually do any attacks until the game decides that it's done, like Wrap or Constrict or Clamp. But in this case, it's dealing fire damage, so it's probably going to be doing more than your normal weak normal type attack. Let's see. I'll just use a Hyper Potion on Hitmonchan. I would go and heal up, but why use the extra time? He's not going to be useful against Blaine. We might throw him out a few times just so he gets some experience, but ultimately other people are going to end up taking out all the Pokemon. Let's just switch to someone else to speed up that process. That would take forever to kill him. Yes, Nidoking with Surf. And Ice Beam. It's so strange, because you think about the strategies in this game, you know, Nidoking's got half physical and half special attacks, and in competitive play, nowadays, you rarely find any Pokemon that'll have, like, mixed moves like that. Alright, I think there's one more trainer. There might be two. It's kind of nice how as you get further in this game, there's like a lot of trainers in the gym. And I mean, like, at first blush, that can be kind of annoying, having more trainers to go through. But at the same time, it's a lot more sort of free experience, given that a lot of their Pokemon aren't very good anyway. Confusion's always kind of annoying to deal with, though. Roar just must not work against trainers in Generation 1, because I've never seen it actually work when a trainer used it. Nowadays, it'll just switch out your current, if it hits, it'll switch out your current Pokemon with something else in your party, but I guess it doesn't do that in this. And 3,000 Poke each. Alright, yeah, so one trainer, and then we are up against Blaine. And that's our goal for tonight, will be to defeat Blaine. So once we defeat him, we'll heal up and then save. I was going to try to make it back to Palatown by surfing up north, but we're approaching 1 a.m. Eastern, and I figured we can just save it for another night. One more Comet Punch should take this guy out. That actually brings me pretty much out of useful moves PP, because I've got Fire Punch, but that's not going to be good to use against Fire-type Pokemon, so... And Beedrill can't really get any experience in this gym. It's just a terrible matchup. Fortunately, there's plenty of ways to deal with these fire types. Got ground moves, water. 3 of my Pokemon will have super effective attacks. So Blaine himself isn't going to be an issue. I am going to throw out Hitmonchan pretty much every time just to let him soak up this experience, because Blaine's Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken, are evolved, so they're going to be worth more experience. Nope, don't have any burn heals. Do have quite a few full heals though, so we'll be fine. Blaine looks so much different in this game than he does in the TV show. Only gym leader that looks like obviously different between the two. Yeah, this guy really isn't a threat at all. Unlike Sabrina, who's just such a nasty gym leader. Like, it is incredibly hard. Why did it use a super potion so quickly? Whatever. It's like so hard to deal with the Kadabra and the Alakazam. I mean, they both know Recover, and they outspeed any Pokemon that's going to know a Bug-type move, which is the only one that's super effective. You just kind of have to rely on brute strength, or them missing. Putting Blaine on clown mode here. There we go. Some evolved Pokemon. Normally on gym leaders I don't do this switching out for experience soaking, but as I said earlier, there's really not much to be worried about with Blaine. Like, Misty can be a real problem. especially if you chose Charmander as your starter like I did. Really? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I have always had a lot of trouble with her. On this run, I think I had to do a reset. Maybe even 2 resets. Now I can't remember. But it was rough. If you choose Charmander, though, Brock and Misty can be kind of challenging. With Brock, the best thing you can do, which is what I ended up doing in this run, is catch a Caterpie and evolve it to Butterfree. Because at level 12 it learns Confusion, which at least is going to hit for, like, decent damage as opposed to everything else being not very effective. Of course, if you pick Bulbasaur or Squirtle, it's not too much of an issue. Oh yeah, normally I grind a lot. I just figured since I was running this on a stream, and, you know, to be kind of like time efficient, I was going to try to be sort of minimalist in terms of how many Pokemon I caught and how much time I spend, like, farming experience. But in a normal run, I'm right there with you. Like, my Nidoking here would probably be level 50 by now, but I'm just trying to keep this relatively challenging since, you know, it's on stream. That's okay. Actually, we can probably use Hitmonchan just to finish this guy off. Arcanine is going to be faster. Oh, wait. I'm out of PP. That isn't going to work. That's okay. Oh. Nope, this is a terrible choice. Hardly even saw it move. Okay, well, Charizard, I'll finish it off then. Man, 2 super potions? I don't know if you have any familiarity with oh yeah, same here. When I first played this game, I definitely was not grinding. I got to the end of the game, you know, I had 1 Pokemon that was super overleveled and a bunch of terrible Pokemon. I definitely had not grasped the idea of grinding or evening out your experience between your team. But yeah, over time it's definitely built with me too. I feel like for me, it was playing Final Fantasy games and playing more JRPGs. I know technically, like, Pokemon is a JRPG by all means, but ones that sort of required grinding. Again, like Final Fantasy games, where if you don't do it, you're going to find yourself so far behind when you get to bosses, it's not even fun. But if you have any familiarity with Final Fantasy 15, by the end of Chapter 3, my guys were like level 55 or like close to 60. And normally, you're not even that level by the time you finish the game. So, I do end up grinding a lot. Alright, there we go. We're all healed up, and we're ready for tomorrow. Guess we can go ahead and start. We can make it to Pallet Town tonight. It's not quite 1. And we'll put Beedrill up front, now that he and Hitmonchan are evened out. There are mixed reviews about the game, but I mean, I'm kind of a fanboy, so my opinion is biased. I'll admit that up front. I really liked it. You know, there are also a lot of people who didn't like Final Fantasy 13, and I also really liked that one. So, you know, you can take my endorsement with a grain of salt, you know, but I very much enjoyed playing it. I would say, I mean, if it's something you're not really into, but you want to try it out, I mean, if you wait like a year or two, it's going to be like $20-30 anyway, so. Yeah, 13 I thought was really good. A lot of characters. There were some points in the game, like when you started getting the Eidolons, Vanille's Eidolon, I think, there was like a huge spike in difficulty, but 15 it's not so much an interactive movie. There's actually a lot of open world aspects to that game. Like, you're kind of limited in where you can go until you reach certain story sort of checkpoints. And then, like, huge parts of the map open up and you're allowed to, like, do all kinds of side quests. There are quite a few cutscenes, but, I don't know. I guess I can see how it might appear that way from the outside, but I think if you tried it out, you'd find it's probably a little different. In fact, I mean, I don't know if you want to spend all this time watching it, but I did an entire run of Final Fantasy 15, the story, on stream. It took, of course, I had a cold, so my voice is like super dead, but it only took about 10 hours. But I was doing New Game Plus, and my guys were like maxed out. But anyway, if you wanted to see kind of what the game was like, I do have some videos on demand of 15. But I mean, you know, I actually was thinking of playing it on stream once I finish up Pokemon for a little bit, because they've been coming out with DLC packs. I know DLC is sort of a, I don't know, I don't like the idea of DLC, but I do have a season pass for it. And I was thinking of streaming some of the bonus content. Sleep. You gotta love how in Generation 1 you waste a turn when you wake up from being slept. Yay! I'm kind of surprised that as soon as I woke up he didn't put me to sleep again. I feel like that's pretty common. I was actually, while on the subject of Final Fantasy, I have World of Final Fantasy but haven't started it yet. I was thinking of trying that out on stream. Of course it'd be sort of a, you know, first impression type playthrough. I don't have any idea how the game works or anything about it. I just thought it looked cool. I mean, from the impression I got, it kind of looked like a Pokemon-esque Final Fantasy game. Which is funny, because Final Fantasy Explorers was kind of like Monster Hunter. Oh, it's a kiddie game? Like I said, I haven't tried it yet. I do have it, but I haven't tried it yet. I think I got it on sale. But, yeah. I'm gonna give it a shot. I picked it up, so I'd feel, you know, remiss not to at least try it. I do understand where you're coming from there. Yes. I'd say for the most part, I agree. I still very much like the newer ones, but it's not the same. I think back to 7 and 9 and 5. Those are some of my favorites, but the Starmie outspeeds me, so I'm gonna actually switch over. What do you think about the remake of 7? Is that going to be something you'll check out? I mean, it will come out eventually. I don't have any doubt about that, but I think it's going to take forever before we get it. Yeah. I think that's a fair analysis. I'd say I'm pretty much at this point a fanboy though. So again, I'm kind of seeing everything through, what's the saying, rose-tinted glasses or whatever. It all looks nice to me, even though I know that I'm saying that with bias. Alright, Beedrill is 43. I'm gonna go ahead and take him out from being in front. He's completely caught up. He's running out of PP on his attacks anyway. Haunter could take these guys out in one hit, but really Hitmonchan needs the experience. This is not going to hit very hard, his defense is too high. The story, yes. I hope that the story feels the same as it did in the first one with upgraded graphics. I very much agree there. The combat system, honestly, I haven't seen anything about it. I should definitely look that up. I was kind of hoping that they just were going to leave it how it was, because there wasn't anything wrong with the way it was. I don't know. The problem is, I think they're trying to maintain their hold on past fans, hence why they're remaking a past Final Fantasy game, but they're updating the combat system to reel in like more modern fans, you know, ones who got on the sort of Final Fantasy bandwagon starting with, I would say 12, but I guess 12 never really got the popularity I feel that it might have deserved, but like 13 or I don't know, some of the games that started to implement more of the action battles as opposed to being turn-based. So we'll see. Like I said, I haven't seen any footage of what the combat's like in the remake, but I'll just have to see it. I just think maybe they're kind of splitting their attention between, you know, longtime fans and new players that they want to sort of bring into the Final Fantasy universe. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, because 15 was definitely real-time like, I mean, it's not quite as extreme, but you can think of the combat being like Dark Souls, you know? So, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing that they're thinking about how to sort of bring the franchise up to date and get new fans. It just, you know, change like that is always going to be a bit of a disappointment. But I don't necessarily think it's going to be a bad thing. We'll just have to see how they implement it, you know? Realize we've been talking about Final Fantasy for a while now. We are still playing Pokemon Blue. We're just battling the trainers in between Cinnabar Island and Pallet Town. And what we'll do is we're gonna end this stream before Giovanni. I feel like that's a good place to start on our next stream, because then we're gonna be heading over to Victory Road. And we'll see how long that takes. I feel like when I was a kid, Victory Road used to be super daunting, but now you go back and play it and realize it's not so bad, especially if you have Pokemon that have all the TMs. But depending on how fast that goes, we might go ahead and throw the Elite Four in as well, but I think we might have to do a little bit of grinding before we're prepared for that, so I'm not going to make any promises about the next stream, including the Elite Four. We'll just say Giovanni and Victory Road. Oh yeah. I mean, for sure. It's kind of hard not to have played Final Fantasy VII. You know, you really get enveloped into the story and the characters and everything. It's kind of hard not to sort of open the gateway to JRPGs. But I also kind of like the Dragon Quest games. I can't say that I'm like a die-hard fan because I just haven't played that many of them, but I know that they're a lot of fun when I do play them. A bit more sort of intense, especially when you get into sort of the Dragon Quest Monsters games, which are kind of like Pokemon. Then you have to like fuse monsters together to make different ones. There's a whole system to it. But they're also, you know, that's also Square Enix. I feel like, I don't know, what it comes down to is in the JRPG realm, if it's made by Square Enix, it's good. And there are other companies that make, you know, good JRPGs, like Atlas and a few others like that, but I don't know. I think Square Enix is really sort of the leader there. But again, Game Freak and the Pokemon Company International, Nintendo, you have to give them credit because technically Pokemon is a JRPG. I just kind of treat it slightly separately. Alright, these Magikarps are annoying and they're not worth any experience, so we're just gonna throw out Haunter and just use Thunderbolt. At what point do you think it lost its swag? I mean, like, I would say that it got kind of weird when they started publishing games that they didn't necessarily develop at their main sort of hub, you know, like Hitman and Tomb Raider. So... so, essentially your answer is just everything. Square Enix has fallen off the deep end. Well, I don't know. I have hope that, you know, we're going to see some good stuff coming out of the future. Kingdom Hearts 3 and things like that. Are the Tales games by Square Enix? For some reason, I thought that was somebody else. I mean, you could totally be right. I have Tales of Zestiria, but that's one of those games where it's like, I know it's going to be really enveloping, or time-consuming, I guess. So I haven't really gotten into it yet. For some reason, I thought that was like Bandai Namco or something. Like Ni no Kuni. It is Square Enix? Okay. Final Fantasy X. That was a good one. It got weird after 10 for me. Like, when they started making... Okay. I gotcha. Yeah, because Ni no Kuni is also Bandai Namco. 10? Yeah, okay, so I definitely see what you're saying about after 10. Then you start getting into 10-2, and it's like, I don't know what you were thinking. And 11, and it's like, I don't necessarily have anything against the MMO model, but they charge so much per month. It's like World of Warcraft is $15 a month, flat. Final Fantasy XI, it's a base charge plus you pay per month for every character you have, and it's like, come on, guys. But anyway, yeah, 10-2, 11, 12 was different. I feel 12 was the first, like, non-turn-based. Yeah, me either. I played it like sort of after it had already started to die down, and it was like I was the only person I saw running around the city, you know, maybe one or two other people, and it definitely takes away from the experience. I gotcha. Yeah, I have the remake of 12. I did get it because I pre-ordered it back in like December, but I haven't started it because I know that once I start it, it's going to be sort of a huge time sink, so I just haven't really gotten into it yet. But to me that sounds fun, a single player MMO. Isn't that what, I mean, like 14 is an online MMO, and I've never played that one, but that one you can essentially play single player through the whole thing too, can't you? Except for like raid bosses or whatever. I mean, I don't know, I'm speaking out of just sort of word of mouth. Again, I haven't played it at all. I think we're almost to Pallet Town now. There's a little patch of grass, oddly enough, like right here on the right. I don't think there's anything unique that you can catch there. It's just sort of a random patch of okay. Sort of a random patch of grass. I gotcha. Well, as someone who never played the original, but I do have the new one, I can't say whether or not I feel the same way, but, I'm definitely gonna, I trust your opinions. You definitely seem to know a lot about Final Fantasy, so, but, yeah, I don't know. I definitely see what you're saying, though. Like, there is a change that happened, and it doesn't feel quite as like you're part of the universe and you care about what's happening in the story so much. But again, a bit of a fanboy, so kind of hopelessly devoted until I guess until I'm like obviously disappointed and it's thrown in my face, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I guess I'm done now. But it is 1:12 here on the East Coast. Which is, I guess it's not super late, but it's late enough for me to say, let's go ahead and call it here. And when we pick up on our next stream, we're going to be fighting Giovanni and going through the Victory Road, and as I said earlier, maybe the Elite Four, but I'm not going to commit to that yet. We'll just have to see how Victory Road goes. Let's make it up to Vermilion City here real quick. I love this song in particular. It's so upbeat. But anyway, yeah, 90s Gamer, thanks for following and hanging out and chatting. It's always nice to have someone to talk to as you're playing games. It's the best. So I hope you tune in again for the future streams, and I look forward to talking with you again. Alright, we will park it right here, right outside of Giovanni's gym. So yeah, thanks again everyone for tuning in. If you're not currently following, feel free to do so you know when we continue the run. I have not been streaming every day, but it's been pretty frequent. I can't imagine I'm going to be online tomorrow, just because I think we have some plans. But Saturday night I probably will be online. So, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to continue it. So, have a good night, everybody.